Welcome back to Stickfish. Thanks for coming back to the channel. We're in the garage today, just shooting the intro and outro to this video. You know, we're in the learning process, so you know, some of this stuff takes a little bit of thought process and still kind of working through it. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be some bluegill fishing. Unfortunately, I didn't shoot forward facing, so I won't be able to put the overlay on the screen on this one, but wanted to talk to you real quick about just kind of what I'm using before we get into the video, so that way you get kind of that thought process and what we're doing. So today we're going to be doing some cricket fishing. So we're going to be using live crickets. So you can see I got some fun things behind me. Got my little bucket here. I'll usually run over to PetSmart, pick up, you know, a couple dozen of their large crickets, and then bought this little cricket keeper from Walmart. So these both came from Walmart. When you do go get crickets, one of the things you want to think about is food and water. So usually what I do, and I think I probably have it in here. So here, let's pull it out real fast. I just have the lid from it's like this spaghetti sauce, what do you call it, jar. And what I'll do is I'll take a paper towel, I'll fold it and I'll put it in here and then I'll wet the paper towel. I started putting water in here, but unfortunately they drowned themselves because they're not apparently the smartest creatures in the world. So you put that little bit of water in there and then usually just like a little chunk of carrot, just something for them to eat and keep hydrated. And then when I move it into this here, you'll see throughout the video that I have a carrot piece in here with them as well too. Let's talk a little bit about the gear. So, you know, for doing this, and unfortunately I broke off, so I don't have it tied on, but I'm running the Sierra STP 740. So it's a 7'4" 0 power. I got just a little 1000 series old school Stratic on here. 3-pound Phoenix iron feather braid, and I'm usually running a 2-pound fluorocarbon leader. I tie the FG knot to tie the two together. I find that it works the best out of all the knots for me. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but you know, this is kind of the drop shot setup. One of the things that I do, and I'll break it down here shortly, is instead of tying the hook directly to the line, I don't know if you can see that, I'll try to pull it in and out, see if we can get it in zoom. I'll tie a dropper loop, and I want that because I want the fish to be able to kind of suck it in. Bluegills have a tendency to just kind of nibble sometimes, not always just inhale everything. And so this gives me a little bit more confidence in the fact that they're actually going to suck that bait in. And then I'm usually throwing a tiny little drop shot. In fact, I have the mold right here. I pour those with the Do It Finesse jig mold, and that is a 32nd ounce drop shot. So real lightweight. We're making about 40 to 45 foot long casts with this. Similar to the jig and minnow, we're letting it drop down into them and we're just working it over the top of them and through them to get them to eat the crickets. Hook wise, probably my favorite hook is the number 10 bait holder Gamakatsu. Works really well. I mean, you want to be cheap and go to Walmart, you can go to Walmart. I mean, I keep extras in there, the laser sharps. These are a couple bucks a pack, 10s and 12s. It just depends on the size of the crickets. I tend to like the bigger crickets just because we've got some bigger bluegills. So that kind of breaks down the setup and what you're going to see in the video today. I'm going to do a quick breakdown of the knot that I tie. Like I said, I tie a dropper loop. So I'm going to get a little bit of brighter colored string and I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, let's talk about the dropper loop that we're going to tie. So happen to have this stringer laying around in the garage from a couple weeks ago. The kids did a little kids tournament at one of the local parks, but imagine this is your line. So this is going, the right side is going to the rod, the left side or the end with the spike is coming off the tip. You know, this is the end of your rod. Making do with what we got, piece of wire just to simulate the eye of a hook. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that hook and we wanna have a drop shot, right? So we wanna have about a foot to 18 inches below it. So we're gonna thread it through. We're gonna go through a decent distance, right? We'll go about that far. I mean, just, you can always cut it down too. What you're gonna do is you're gonna bring those lines together and then you're gonna bring those around your fingers like this. And I'm gonna do it a little bit exaggerated just so you can see it. So as you can see, I got it looped. I got a little bit of a tag end here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hook and you're gonna go through this about 4 times, 3 to 4. 2, a little hard when it's a little tight and bigger lines. So we'll do 3. And then what you do is you let that down, pull it tight, and as you can see, it forms this nice dropper loop. And now you've got, you know, your main line running up here, your drop shot weight would go down there, and as you can see, you've got your hook hanging out there. And like I said, I just like that because I feel like it gives me a little bit of an advantage on the hookups and them being able to suck in the bait. So, you know, this is going to be key. This same thing, I use this on a double rig. I'll show you that in another video. I know I've got some video footage I got to get through with that. So this bluegill footage is about 2 weeks, I want to say, old. This weekend I didn't get to fish. Last weekend I fished. The bluegills are starting to move shallower. So they're starting to get ready to spawn. So they've moved out of that, I'd say 30 to 50 foot range, and they're in that 10 to 20 foot range. And that video, when I get around to it, it's slow. It takes time to edit. Still learning. So bear with me. I promise it'll pick up more. Another thing, it's Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I probably picked not the greatest time to go forward with stickfish. My wife is pregnant and is due at the end of this month. So the month of May is pretty much going to be a hard month for me. So luckily I've got a bunch of footage I just need to edit. So I'll get it out to you. And then once we're back on the water, we'll start, like I said, it'll hopefully pick up a little bit more. So let's jump into the action and we'll kind of, you know, you'll see how we use the crickets, how we hook them up, and then see some of the big bluegills we're catching out on Diamond Valley. We're about to drop in a couple of them here. See if they like the cricket. Got him. Well, they'll eat the cricket. Take him back here real quick. Come here, buddy. So that right there is a Diamond Valley slab. And these are pretty common. The bigger they are, the better off we are. So again, cricket, right behind the head there, there's like a little collar. Just slide it through, thread him on until he's mostly on the hook, and away we go. Here, dude. You got some color. It's a good looking gill. Come on. Just stay out of the trees. That's all I ask. So many of these things down here. Hard to go bass fishing when you can catch everything else in this lake, especially big bluegills and stripers. That's a big bluegill. That's what that is. That is a dinner plate and a half right there. Nope, 10 inches, 10 and a half. Still a good bluegill, man. Look at that thing. That thing's a monster. Watched him eat it. This is the 740 STP, so 7'4", 0 power, 2-piecer. I'm running 3-pound braid on this to a 2-pound fluoro leader, and it's a super lightweight drop shot just so I can get it out there to catch these monsters. I mean, look at these things. Take another cricket. see if we can get another one. They're after the weight. Here comes one. Got him. Watched him come up and eat it. This is way too much fun. Watch that guy just swim up and grab it. These suckers are big. Another solid one. Where are you? Where are you, big guy? There you are. Come here. Oh, yeah. Another one of those big old. That's a thick one, too. Man, they are thick. Said we weren't going to get rain, and now I'm getting dropped on again. I'll see how long that lasts for. Let's get that out of the way. Dude. Look at this. It's a solid bluegill. Crazy. Let's go check this out real fast. We're just gonna look. Put some clear cursor downrange. We'll go 50 feet. Holy cow. Dude, that's a few. Start livening up here. Getting warm. Get you on there. Got ourselves a nice little cricket buddy. It's getting warm. Have to change hats here pretty soon. Should get me in them. Felt that one. Get a sample of how big these ones are. Oh. Another jumbo. Problem with these darn things is you can't grab them like you can a traditional bluegill because of how big they are. Dude, I mean, look at that thing. Can't even get my hand on it, dude. Crazy. All right, everyone, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks again for coming to the channel. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Share this video with your friends if you found it educational or you like it. Kind of my goal is to really focus in on some of these techniques and really explain to you what's going on. So like I said, unfortunately, this one I didn't shoot as much of the forward facing. That is something that I'm learning to do. I need to add an iPad to my boat just to be able to screen mirror and record it. We'll continue to incorporate that. Next video, we'll do a little bit of talking about that double rig I mentioned at the beginning of the video and some bluegill fishing. Like I said, they're starting to move shallower and spawn, so you'll start to see some of these fish starting to get fatter with eggs in them. I'll stop targeting them once they go onto the beds, and I'll wait till they come back off to start targeting them again. So in the interim, we'll probably start picking on some bass and some striper again, and whatever else we deem necessary to catch fish. And like I said, bring you some good content, some educational stuff. Still waiting on the state to send me my guide license. So once that happens, we'll start talking about guiding and what that's going to look like. So again, thanks for coming. We'll catch you on the next one.